Greetings and salutations one and all. Welcome to the night shift. How you doing? It's Real Talk Night right here on the night shift to DJ Kevin Stew. Call a friend, tell a friend. Kicking into after nights with Iron Love, courtesy of Nyla Blackman, working out to the Levantine rhythm section. The Zone of Nyla Blackman, featuring the Levantine rhythm section. Greetings and salutations to each and every one of you locked in right now. Welcome to the end of the night shift week. Real Talk. I want to say big ups to those who are locked in on the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew on TuneIn Radio. Big ups to those on the Foundation Radio Network, ClintonLindsay.com. Lots of love to you guys over there in New Jersey, locked in on NIE Radio. Big ups to those on PEMGTV.com. And of course, right here tonight, the home of the night shift to DJ Kevin Stew, kevinstew.com, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment. Welcome. So glad to have you. Couldn't do it without you. You have my word. I wouldn't even try. Want to say thank you to my segment sponsor, Paul C Media Group. When being in a moment is priceless, so you give them a call. They take care of your videography, your photography, your streaming, your ads. They bring your event to life. When you want to stream on a secure platform, you want to do something like what you see right here on kevinstew.com. You have a church service, a funeral, a wedding, a party, a seminar. You name it. Streaming on your secure platform that is your own or creating one, they can help you with that. Give them a call, 754-999-1140. I almost said the old number. at 754-999-1140. Or check them out online, pulseemg.com. That's pulseemg.com. Big ups to those on Facebook Live. Remember, don't get too comfortable, you know. It's only a segment. The entire broadcast can be seen and participated in on kevinstew.com. And you are encouraged to jump into the stew pot on kevinstew.com. Those of you wondering what the stew pot is, it's what others call a chat room. But because we're fancy, we call it the stew pot. It's where we keep things interactive and bubbling. You don't need to register. You don't need to sign up. You don't need to send me your firstborn. All you do is just go to kevinstew.com. For those of you on Facebook Live, it's pinned in the comment section. Just click on the link. Come on over. Boom, you're there in the stew pot, adding your bit of spice to the broadcast. You know, it's only asked that you remain respectful, because this is a judgment-free zone, so your comments are welcome. And you can share them fearlessly. Call a friend, tell a friend, call an enemy, call your friends of your friends, friends of your enemies, enemies of your friends. Tell everybody. It's Real Talk on the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. And tonight, we are going to see if we can agree to disagree. I guess when you have that kind of iron love, you can do just about anything, right? So we'll see if we can agree to disagree tonight. Hopefully, at the end of it all, we get to learn something, and we get to leave out just a little bit more enlightened. Yeah? Because that's what we aim to do. Hey Charlene, how are you? I hope Janae enjoyed her Earth Date celebrations. Big ups to her. Alright, so kicking it off, starting agreeing to disagree, or figuring out how to agree to disagree. According to Macomb Now magazine, an article written by Shelley Bonanno, who is a psychologist. Dr. Shelley Bonanno says conflict is an inevitable part of relationships, particularly in emotionally close ones. So I'd like for people to think along the lines of partners, best friends, close relatives when we talk about relationships. Not just the ones, not just partners, not just the intimate relationship, and, or should I say, not just a sexual relationship. Because once you're close with people, it is intimate. So, not just the sexual ones. Many people attempt to avoid or minimize conflict. And conflict in relationships is not necessarily a situation to be avoided. In fact, research has shown that conflicts and disagreements can not only be healthy, they can result in better decisions in general and strengthen and deepen relationships. Now, there are some people that would see that and or hear that and immediately say, yeah, I am not having conflict in my relationship and thinking that it's getting better because of it. Well, how exactly are you navigating your relationship, and how exactly are you looking at conflict? 773-789-STEW gets you in touch. 773-789-7839. You can call, you can text, you can WhatsApp, you can Telegram. Please use up any of those methods as you wish, but definitely use the link that is pinned on Facebook, or go to kevinstew.com, kevinstew.com. Real simple. But call 773-789-STEW, 773-789-7839. Once more, 773-789-7839. Hey, China Nicole, how you doing? You know, my big ups to the NIE, the Island Worldwide family. China, much love, much love. The people who have been married for a long time to the same person, you, I think, are the ones that fall in the category of professionals when it comes to negotiating and navigating disagreements. Because if you have managed to survive a relationship longer than 15 years, and if you've gone 15 years in a relationship, it doesn't really make sense you decide to check out. I don't know. I could be wrong, but why bother? But clearly, somewhere in there, you've had your share of falling outs. How did you manage to navigate through those falling outs to get to the point where either you're just comfortable in your relationship, or you just completely got over that and moved on to the next thing? And this is how, in my opinion, the strengthening and deepening of relationships come into play. Now, according to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, agree to disagree is a phrase that refers to agreeing not to argue anymore about a difference opinion or a difference of opinion. Disagreement does not have to lead to hostility. In fact, it can lead to a discussion and better understanding of ourselves and others. Agree to disagree is a resolution of a conflict that requires all parties to tolerate the opposing positions, even when they do not accept it as the best choice. It is natural and normal to have honest and valid differences of opinions. In committed relationships, agreeing to disagree allows us to put these inevitable differences in perspective. No couple can agree on everything, and irreconcilable differences do not mean you cannot continue to feel emotionally connected with the other person. Feeling accepted by your partner, even if they disagree with your opinion, can increase intimacy and closeness. I don't know how many times that will be emphasized tonight. But this part right here, irreconcilable differences, and does not mean you cannot continue to feel emotionally connected with another person. A lot of times you hear of divorces, and if you caught Monday's broadcast with family court attorney Tasha Simmons, you'll hear irreconcilable differences mentioned quite a bit. Nobody can quite seem to always put a finger on what irreconcilable differences are. But I guess a culmination of several arguments over a period of time that leads you to a complete different way of living together. And each of those differences of opinions puts a wedge between you, and each time you have another one, it drives it deeper and deeper and deeper. And you know how wedges work, they get wider as they go deeper. So you end up going further and further and further apart because those little things weren't being addressed. Differences of opinion are normal in relationships. And can foster deeper understanding and growth between individuals. While it can be difficult to keep an open mind, well, once you get into a relationship, your mind should start opening up if it hasn't been opened up at that point. But of course, that's just my opinion. While it can be difficult to keep an open mind, particularly when we feel passionate about a subject, listening to another person and empathizing with their situation, even while not always agreeing with their point of view, allows us to gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and others. The benefits to being open-minded can be numerous, including better problem-solving skills, better coping skills, and what I probably think is the most important, reduced stress. Stress is a killer. If you didn't know that before, ask your doctor. Stress is a killer. And if you can reduce stress in your relationship, why not? Why not take advantage of knowing that the love that you and your partner share, or you and your best friend would share, is way stronger than any disagreement that you may have. It's possible. Then again, I don't know your relationship. 773-789-STEW, 773-789-7839. You don't have to tell your name. You can remain anonymous. Call me though. Tell me how relationships work for you. Tell me how navigating through disagreements work for you. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about that last disagreement you had and where it left your relationship. Where do you stand right now? And again, I'm not talking about the people in a relationship that are sexually involved. I'm talking about that best friend. I'm talking about that sibling, that relative, that anybody that you are close to, respect and value at some point in time, because you are not the same individual. In fact, people have conflicts with themselves. So, because you're conflicted on whether it be a decision you made or one that you have to make, what, you're going to not talk with yourself? Who are you going to be malicing at that point? So, I having an ability to navigate through disagreements is one of those things that you need to do anyway. And people will say, if you have a falling out with yourself, that it doesn't get any crazier than that. Well, actually it does. When you are so conflicted that you just don't like yourself anymore. Yeah. That's how it gets worse. Positive agreeing to disagree occurs when individuals recognize that further conflict would be unnecessary, ineffective, or otherwise undesirable. Now, I don't know at what point it is desirable to have conflict that, further conflict. Who likes conflict anyway? I know there are some people that thrive on chaos, but chaos doesn't necessarily excuse me. Chaos doesn't necessarily mean conflict. It speaks more to it can speak to being just disorganized. But who really wants to have conflict over and over and over and over again? Unless you're actually a fighter. And so if that's what you do, you're a boxer, you're a mixed martial artist, and you have you participate in a sport that requires you to be on opposite sides, conflicting or confronting each other physically. Then that's the sport that you have chosen to participate in or decided to participate in. That kind of conflict, cool, understandable. But it doesn't necessarily mean you hate each other. It just means that you both have the same goal in mind and have to get through each other to get to it. While unresolved disagreements can lead to charged conflict between people, agreeing to disagree allows us to feel closer and can also lead to an increased understanding of one another because it requires us to hear the other point of view. When viewed from this perspective, agreeing to disagree can be viewed as affirmative. So those of you that were wondering how can conflict be positive, this is how. It provides the opportunity to foster our own growth and develop a diversity of perspectives. Having access to a greater variety of viewpoints inevitably results in more opinions and more flexibility for the current issue and for issues that come up in the future. There are always more than one way to skin a cat. So if you can have various perspectives and viewpoints on a particular subject, can you imagine how much better off you are? This is why we have think tanks, where you have groups of individuals coming together to attack a situation and see how best we can come to a resolve or how we can better a situation. This is how businesses grow, because you have multiple minds coming together to give different ideas and perspectives. Same way, you should approach your relationships, because that conflict is just one of those meeting of the minds kind of time. It allows us to let go of anger, especially about things that cannot be controlled or changed, instead of silently resenting the other person. How many times has there been that argument, that falling out, where one person just decides, all right, I'm done talking about it. And the other person decides, okay, fine, let's not talk about it anymore. But the situation is not resolved. So the big old elephant still remains in the room, and it's just there. This big, giant, pink elephant. Or green elephant, as the case may be, because it might include some envy and jealousy or something. But the problem is still there. We can't always change the opinions of others, and shouldn't feel obligated to do so either. Being open-minded in the face of disagreement can teach us to be better listeners, as well as more accepting of differences. It does not mean you're giving in, but rather allows us to let go of some things, which is an important relationship skill. Holding on to that thing that caused a disagreement, you're missing out on an opportunity to let something in that could cause your relationship to grow even more. You know, the people that look at relationships at a certain point and say, this is it. This is as far as we can go. It doesn't get any better than this. With the expectation that it could get better, are the ones that are pleasantly surprised when it does get better. Because when you end up going through another year and you're like, boy, this year was awesome for us. You remember when we did this? How great that was? Remember when this happened? And those sound like just positives that have happened with great talking points and things to be remembered. But some of those things, can you imagine if some of those things are, let's say, hey, you remember when we had this big argument? How we worked through it? Look at us now. Now, whenever situations like that come up with other people, we can sit together and say, hey, I'm not telling you how to do your thing, but this is how we navigated that. You know how many of our peers look to us for ideas with how to get over a situation? Whenever you have successfully navigated an issue, you are now a master at this issue. You now become a consultant on this issue. Why? Because you have gone through it. When people survive cancer, the person who has never been diagnosed with cancer cannot tell them what it is like. So who is the experienced one? Who is the I don't want to say the master of this issue at this point, but yeah. Who is the best person to consult on this issue but the one who has gone through it? So if you can navigate issues in your relationship and in doing so you agree to disagree, and it's not just to say, boy, you know, you say potato, I say potato, let's call the whole thing off and move on. It's not just that. Because one of you end up talking with someone and they say, so why do you say potato and why do they say potato? No, you missed out on an opportunity to figure out why it is that you do what you do when you do what you did. And now, as the person being asked about it because the other party isn't there, you can explain to them why, because you understand. And that understanding is what is building your relationship. See how that works? We're going to take a quick little break. We're going to say goodbye to those on Facebook Live. Thank you guys for sharing. Truly appreciate of you doing that. Inviting you to still call a friend, tell a friend. Friends of your friends, friends of your enemies, enemies of your friends, and your enemies too, because we're not leaving them out. Call everybody. Let's talk about this some more. The broadcast continues on kevinstew.com and affiliates NIE Radio, PMG TV, the Foundation Radio Network, ClintonLindsay.com, on TuneIn Radio on the Night Shift to DJ Kevin Stew. The whole discussion continues. For those of you who cannot jump on over to kevinstew.com or tune into any of those options, you can catch the podcast or you can catch YouTube come tomorrow. The same name, The Night Shift to DJ Kevin Stew. And do subscribe to the podcast or to the YouTube. But more importantly, support kevinstew.com. Because it is through kevinstew.com now that the night shift with Kevin Stew, that's where the night shift lives. And kevinstew.com is a business. Support the business as the business strives to bring to you things like this. Learning how to, or recognizing that you can agree to disagree and it be a good thing. But not just to leave it as that, but to work through the issue so that you come to an agreement, even if you disagree. We'll be back after these few messages. Facebook Live, deuces to you. Truly appreciate, love you. We'll be right back.
Policy Media Group, innovative streaming and recording, has done it again. A new way to get your business in full view of your neighborhood consumer through AdShare TV. It's available in your neighborhood today. It's easy. Just call us 754-999-6020. Become a host today and place a TV monitor in a strategic location so it's easy to see. Get a 1-minute video ad or longer that plays anywhere in our network. Can't be a host? No problem. For a few dollars, we'll run your 30-second video ad. A host can run announcement specials like buy one get one free or discount ads. Let's turn your flyers into a 30-second video with music or a voiceover, or let us create and run your video ad with a spokesperson. Take advantage of our early enrollment discount. Join us today. Your ad will be seen at least 30 times per day in your AdShare TV neighborhood. It's easy. Just call us 754-999-6020. AdShare TV, part of Pulsing Media Group.
It takes an entire village to raise a child. Hello, I'm Paul Campbell, here to talk about Palace. Peace and Love Academic Scholarship. This non-profit group supports students facing serious obstacles from entering or continuing their studies, not because the grades are failing, but due to the lack of financial support.
Over the past 8 years, Palace has awarded 600 scholarships valued at approximately 50.3 million Jamaican dollars, or 415,000 US dollars.
Together, we must build a better future for our children. Please visit www.palace1.org and make your donation to brighten the future of a deserving child. Palace, preserving young minds for posterity.
Imagine having our own Caribbean Center.
Imagine a museum highlighting our history and the contributions of Caribbean people to the world.
Imagine being able to visit and learn about the islands we call home.
In a place where our kids can see and feel their cultural heritage. You can make this vision come to life.
Help us create this first-of-its-kind space
that all Caribbean people can be proud of. Your contribution to Island Space Caribbean Museum will help this dream come true.
Visit islandspacefl.org/GoFundMe.
Visit islandspacefl.org/GoFundMe.
Visit islandspacefl.org/GoFundMe and donate today.
Yes, my people. Check out I Red Funks on Reggae Global Radio. Every Saturday at 8 p.m. with Kev Stew, where I'll give you a pre-life. Brand new. Good for you. Kick it like a ball if you don't say a dance song. You hear that?
It's Christina representing for DJ Kevin. You see me, I say, I don't know the boss. You see me, I say, DJ Kevin Stew and the night shift radio show. Yo, at the thing, turn up the thing loud. Whoa. DJ Kevin Stew at the heart of a champion. Never underestimate, just choose him. The silver line behind the dark clouds. DJ Kevin Stew believing, and that's no doubt. Salute the night shift with the show, Christine. It's hard to talk. Love.
You was my girl from the start. I would never break your heart. Don't listen to everything they say. You know that I ain't out there playing. Number one on the chart. You know how to leave your mark. Just the last give me if I'm staying, but it don't need explaining. You and me together, it will be forever. Unbreakable, but we have unbreakable. You and me together, it will be forever. Unbreakable, but we have unbreakable. Vibes never stop, lit on a yacht. Champagne a pop, everything must smile. Oh, you're so bad, but look so simple. Smile that they got showing off your dimples. You are bad girl, we do bad girl things. Say you want a real G. Give it to her good, she a beg for some more. She wanna feel me. You and me together, it will be forever. Unbreakable, but we have unbreakable. You and me together, it will be forever. Unbreakable, but we have unbreakable. Every time I'm with you, baby, you drive me crazy. Checking up on you lately, thinking about you daily. We can get high on a natural high, escape reality. Real talk, girl, it ain't no lie. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. You and me together, it will be forever. Unbreakable, but we have unbreakable. You and me together, it will be forever. Unbreakable, but we have unbreakable.
Welcome back to the broadcast. The sound of Lindo.
Everything must smile. Hold yourself.
The track is called Unbreakable.
Smile, they got showing off your dimples. You a bad girl, we do bad girl.
Want to say thank you for sticking around. Thank you for jumping on over to kevinstew.com. Thank you for sharing.
Me together, it will be
Thank you to my segment sponsor,
we have unbreakable.
Althea and her Healing Heavenly Hands. Althea SU is a licensed massage therapist operating out of Broad County, North Miami-Dade, and South Palm Beach counties. She comes to you. She brings her oils, her table, and over 20 years massage therapy experience.
About you daily.
Give her a call, 954-655-9000. That's 954-655-9000. Or email her at thealeta, that's THALETER, thealeta at att.net. Outside of paying her, she only has one request. You get off her table and go sleep somewhere else when she's done. The table might be the table isn't unbreakable. But it doesn't mean that you should stay on it.
Don't listen everything they say. You know that I ain't out there playing.
Yeah, man, you can definitely go sleep somewhere else. I typically have to get up off the table after I fall asleep and go sleep somewhere else.
But it don't need explaining. You and me together, it will be forever. Unbreakable.
Lindo says, are you and me together? We're unbreakable, man. Because this here is one of those things that is forever. How do you create that forever, though? That how do you have forever without falling out? I want to say big ups to those who are simmering down in the stew pot. Much love to you. Truly appreciate love you. 1131, big ups to you. So, how is things down in Jamaica right now? I see you hailing from Jamaica. How's the weather down there? How is it working out with the curfew? Not the curfew, but the lockdown. And the vaccinations being issued. How are all those things working out? Because I'm pretty sure there's a little bit of differences of opinions in that mix also, even in households and among friends. How is that being navigated and negotiated? For those of you just tuning in, welcome. Those who have been here, welcome back. Tonight we're talking about agreeing to disagree. We all have differences of opinions, right? But that doesn't mean that we have to spend every moment of our day involved in arguments while trying to prove our point or dealing with the fallout after an argument. It is possible for two people to agree to disagree on some things. And for those of you who are asking, is that possible? Yes, it is. We're not, not because you've never done it does it mean that it is not possible. Inspirationalblogs.com says the best way to deal with a difference of opinion with your partner is to calm down, listen, and try to see things from their point of view. Sometimes you can diffuse a situation by being the better person and loving your partner regardless, rather than by always being right. Sometimes taking the L in an argument is taking the W in the relationship. Because, you can catch more flies with honey than you can with vinegar. Now, who exactly it was that coined that phrase, I'm not sure, because I don't know why you trying to catch flies. I guess that's one way to get rid of them. But I digress. Whether you're involved in a long-term relationship, a brand new relationship, or have a close relationship with a group of friends, people are involved. It's one of the things that we've been stressing all night. People are involved. Can we respect each other's opinions? And do we understand that each of us has a right to express our own opinions? Or do we try to force our own views on everyone else? How do we deal with our differences in relationships? How do you deal? 773-789-STEW gets you in touch. 773-789-7839. Call, text, WhatsApp, Telegram. Use them all. But of course, you are invited to jump into the stew pot on kevinstew.com. You just go to the website, kevinstew.com, and you're there. If you can't call me and share your views or ask your question, go ahead and just type it in the chat room. All right? Cool. Trying to live with someone who has differing opinions to what you have can be difficult. Notice, not impossible, but difficult. But there are ways that you can live a peaceful life without constantly arguing with the people in your life. All it takes is understanding and allowing both parties to air their views in a safe space without conflict. You wonder why I say you're to have acceptance through enlightenment? I coined that phrase and made it the motto of kevinstew.com, because ultimately that's what we strive to do. We strive to have acceptance through enlightenment. We strive to look at that difference of opinion and use it to build on our relationship instead of use it to destroy our relationship. Peace may not be achieved all the time, but having one or two differences of opinion now and then is easier to manage than full-out war all the time. Emotions govern opinions. So, if you make a decision when you are emotional, it could open the door to many more arguments and an unhappy life. The best way to resolve differences of opinion is to agree to disagree. While this is easier said than done, if you want the other person to be involved in your life, you will both have to agree on certain matters, even if having differing opinions on that particular topic. Because again, you cannot agree about everything. You're not the same person. So, what are some ideas for resolving differences of opinions? Or even just smoothing out arguments? One of the things is that you need to understand that conflict is a part of any relationship. Any. You may have a difference of opinion on many things, even small things. What is essential is not what the differences are, but how you manage to the differences, both as couples and individuals. Try working together to create a solution that will favor both parties without forming separate camps. How do you find that middle ground? Where is it that you can stand where you maintain your opinion, they maintain their opinion, but yet still you can move past this issue? You want to manage your expectations in a relationship. Conflict and criticism can diminish our feelings of being admired, valued, and loved. If your expectations are not being met, the relationship can suffer. If you do not have to, if you do have to criticize, try putting any negative comments between two positive ones. So you know you're going to say something that the other person will view as negative. Do say something or provide a positive comment or some positive feedback that you know that they would recognize as being positive. Say a little negative part, but come back again with something positive again. Because, and notice I said again 2 times. Because I don't think it can be stressed enough. When you are upset, rather than criticize a specific behavior or situation that the other person displays without directly attacking the person's personality, complaints about character are unproductive, as the other person will automatically defend themselves. It is important to discuss the issue at hand without attacking the other person and their beliefs. I often find myself, when I have a situation where there's a disagreement, I am arguing the issue and the other person is arguing their opinion on the issue with emotion. So theirs is based on their feeling. Mine is based on facts surrounding the issue. Not including my feeling on it yet. Just presenting. And I recently had a similar situation in my own life. Navigating through it can be quite challenging. But again, not impossible. So, you have individuals with differing values. Should these people be in any type of a relationship? Can they navigate it and move towards bigger and better things? Because every relationship is different. We know this. But specific values should be important to the relationship. Shared values are the foundations of any relationship. Couples should share similar core values for their relationship to grow and thrive. Otherwise, they will live in constant resentment and disappointment and be miserable instead of enjoying a happy, healthy relationship with their partner. What is needed to be remembered is values are very different from interests. You can have other interests that your partner and still have a healthy relationship as long as you share core values. That's one of the key foundations to any relationship. Which core values should you share with your partner to enjoy a solid, healthy relationship? Well, one of those should be a commitment to each other. Knowing that your partner has the same goals and core values as you make for a happier and easier relationship. Being in a committed relationship with your partner means keeping a promise or a vow made to them. I don't do promises, I just give my word. Even when times are tough, you stick to what you said. To be committed to another person means that you cannot back out either emotionally or physically. One of the things that I recognize about myself. Whenever there's conflict, well, in my more intimate relationships, if there's conflict, I would shut down. And that was something that I did for years. And then I started recognizing that was something that I did. So I would say, this is something that I do. And if I start doing it, let me know that I'm doing it so that we can keep open communication going. Even if I'm in a shutdown mode, where I just retreat to be with me and to work through some issues that I may be having, and then come back to the table. That keeping communication, the lines of communication open is very important. Because if you sever that, then there's no more relationship. It's over. It's done. Agreeing on core values will keep your relationship stable and allow you freedom as long as there are boundaries in place. Know what your boundaries are. Respect each other's boundaries. It doesn't mean that here you have these hard and fast rules. Notice they didn't say know what the rules of the relationship are and respect those rules. They say know your boundaries. These boundaries can be shifted. The relationship needs to be fluid and flexible so you can continue to grow. You have rules in your relationship and you live by these rules. Then the moment one of those rules are quote unquote broken, now you have problems. You have violated the terms of the relationship and there's grounds to end it. Trust always. Now, that's one of those biggies when it comes to relationships. Trust. You should always be able to trust your partner completely, no matter what. Your partner should have the same values, or I'd like to say boundaries. They have rules, boundaries as you do. Set clear rules on what is and what is not acceptable behavior with members of, say, the opposite sex, or depending on the type of relationship that you may have, maybe the same sex, just whatever is a deal breaker for you. Let that be known. Never give your partner any reason to excuse to doubt you or your relationship. Again, when it comes to rules and boundaries, you can set rules if you want to, or you can attempt to try it differently and set boundaries. In setting boundaries, and this is my opinion, if there is such a difference of opinions in that relationship, if there's such a falling out, a clash, because of boundaries and how to navigate boundaries and to negotiate them, you can actually, it's easier for you to come to the table and talk about where you are in the relationship. And if it needs be that you separate, you go your separate ways, it is done amicably because you've talked about it. And it doesn't end up in a situation where this rule is broken. And once you start talking about broken rules, now you're talking about violating the terms of the relationship. I know that those are hard words to use. That's more aggressive. Versus looking at our boundaries and discussing what had happened. Another is lifestyle choices. When looking at the ways in which you maintain a solid, healthy relationship. Lifestyle choices. Agreeing on where to live, how you spend your weekends, where to vacation. These little things will all help to grow your relationship. Deciding to include your partner in all lifestyle choices, whether large or small. These things will keep your relationship heading in the right direction. Making any decision without your partner, which impacts their lifestyle, can lead to conflict. Unhealthy conflict. Your future plans is also important. Deciding on how many children to have, if any at all. How to raise them. These things are often points of conflict in any relationship. By determining your own core values, you should be able to deal with any problems that happen along the way when children arrive. As parents, you should always be on the same page and never allow a decision to be made that does not agree with your already decided on core family values. Extended family can disagree with your decisions, but as long as you and your partner agree, you stick to your guns. When extended family members come into play and they're putting in their 2 cents, accept their 2 cents for what it is. But ultimately, when it comes to parents and their children, as extended family members, if you have children of your own, you concern yourself with your children. And this is how I feel about it. Don't try to tell me how to raise my children. Don't actively do something that goes beyond or behind what I decide that I am going to do for my children. That is how we have problems. And me, DJ Kevin Stew, I'm very passionate about that part. How you deal with faith issues should be included in your long-term goals. Deciding on how to raise your children according to your faith should be a non-negotiable and shared core value, determined before you even start raising a family. And how you deal with conflict is also important. The best way to deal with any conflict is through communication. Again, keeping the lines of communication open, even if you need to retreat for a moment. Agreeing on how to handle conflict is something that you should discuss early in your relationship to avoid hurt later. Disagreements and quarrels will happen, but if you have a well laid out plan on resolving the conflict as one of your core values, you can follow the rules or the guidelines that you've already set in place to resolve the dispute. And that is how you grow that. So when you do have these disagreements with your partner, what do you do? How do you navigate that? Because there will be disagreements. It's hard to not have that as long as you're dealing with people. And no matter how well individuals get on with each other, there will be some conflict. How you resolve that difference of opinion is what matters. Do we allow the differences to escalate into a full-blown war, or can we resolve our differences of opinion amicably and sometimes agree to disagree? How can you do that? Well, you stop and listen. Before you see red, just go ahead and stop. Calm down. Listen. Don't just hear. Listen. Are you being unreasonable? And strangely, having an agreed upon safe word or safe phrase really does help to stop an argument before it begins. Time out. Cree. Whatever it is that you may want to use. Pause. Try something. Set it up. And you may have been years into the relationship. This now becomes a new thing, and this is a new part of the relationship, and now you're growing and adding a tier to it. Add this into it if you don't already have it. See things from their point of view. It's something else that you can do. Do they perhaps have a different viewpoint to you that makes sense? And even if it doesn't make sense, try to see it anyway. Look for common ground. Are the things that you can agree on quickly to calm you down, are they present? Is your opinion the only one that counts? Now, if you do stop and think about the issue, are they perhaps incorrect? Or is there a different way other than yours? Is it more important for you to win an argument because you can? Or are you prepared to listen to the point of view which is different from yours? How do you grow? Being human, we will always disagree with someone. Most of the time, the person that we disagree with is the most is our partner. We can live a happy life by choosing to resolve our differences amicably or by setting boundaries in our relationship. To have a happy life, we need to resolve our differences quickly without causing rifts in our relationship. Communication and respect allows us to face our disagreements with our partners head on without leaving room for unresolved issues and hurt feelings. Compromise does not mean that we are allowing our partner to always win. Instead, choose to live a good life without sticking to your guns in every situation. Setting values and establishing boundaries and shared values will allow you to enjoy your life with your partner. Ultimately, that is what we are striving to do. Enjoy life with the people that we hold dear. So when you have those falling outs, can you afford to let that be the last thing that you have with that person? Can you afford for that to be the deciding factor with how you go forward with your relationship? Now, only you can answer that question. Because in answering that question, you're weighing how you value that relationship and how you value that individual in the relationship. But that's all on you. We're going to take another quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk some more. It's Real Talk on the Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew. We're looking at agreeing to disagree. Where do you stand? We'll be right back. When being in the moment is priceless, consider the ability to share that moment. If you can video it, you can broadcast it. And Pulse E-Media Group has the tools you need. Weddings, birthdays, funerals, graduations, church services, parties, seminars, you name it. Pulse E-Media Group can provide you with a secure medium controlled by you to broadcast your event. Contact us at www.pulseemediagroup.com for more information. Pulse E-Media Group, when being in the moment is priceless.
Making great music is one thing, sharing it with the world, that's another. Let the professionals at Reggae Global Entertainment help you to another level. Specializing in artist management, booking, public relations and marketing, and promotion, Reggae Global Entertainment can help you with event planning, websites, photography, and video production, press releases, legal services, and graphic design. They can even help you with music production, so you can get the sound that you want every time. Call Reggae Global Entertainment at 954-804-8199. That's 804-8199. Or visit them online at reggaeglobalentertainment.com.
Greetings and salutations. This is DJ Kevin Stew inviting you to bubble up and simmer down with me in the Saturday Stew right here on Reggae Global Radio. Get ready for the special segment called The Secret Ingredient, where you may hear from your favorite artist or producer. Saturday Stew happens every Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time exclusively on ReggaeGlobalRadio.com, where we get high on reggae.
Come on, smile. Oh, honey, he's still not smiling.
Maybe he's not a smiler.
Yeah, maybe he's just not a happy baby.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Or maybe he's teething.
Maybe it's just a phase.
Maybe he has autism, and we can definitely do something to help.
Maybe is all you need to find out more about autism. No big, joyful smiles by 6 months is one early sign. Learn the others at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Matthew 28:19 says, "Go ye therefore and teach all nations." With this in mind, and encouragement received during a South Florida media conference, The Church Links was birthed. The Church Links is an interdenominational worship service portal for churches, providing the tools to spread the word through technology in a cost-effective way. The Church Links, www.dahchurchlinx.com. Your links to worship and praise.
The series continues on Saturday, August 28th, where it's at the Dance Party. Taking it up another level, featuring straight out of Jamaica, the champion sound, Stone Love.
Stone Love sound will play every time.
And fresh from New York, the musical messiah, Glamour Wayne.
The article, international, official, intellectual Glamour Wayne.
With host Mr. Flavors.
I am Mr. Flavors, inviting you to the big dance party where it's at.
Saturday, August 28th, the series continues.
Where it's at.
Party from 8 p.m. until 2 a.m. Reach early for this at Crave Restaurant and Lounge, 4519 North Pine Island Road, Sunrise.
Where it's at.
$25 early bird tickets ends on August 14th. Also purchase tickets online. carobtix.com/where it's at. Sponsored by Mindful Manny, Retro Movement Marketing, Hemp and Fork, Range Law Firm, and Douglas Chiropractic. For more info, call 786-295-3619.
Where it's at, baby.
Yes. Carmantino, I'm making notes right now. You are locked in to DJ Kevin Stew on the night shift. Hey.
I don't wanna wait in vain. Love hurts, but I love the pain. Shots and Novocaine through my brain. I'm about to go insane. I don't wanna lose you, baby. If I did it would drive me crazy. Without you everything seems easy. Stay close to me where you're supposed to be. You say I'm selfish cause I need you for myself. It's bad for my health, girl, but I don't want nobody else, yeah. And I know I could be a little extreme. You brighten up my world like I beam. Enough of them I say, oh, love is blinding, but you bring the clarity like me Visine. The girl of my dreams, I melt like ice cream. Anytime you're around, I'm in the presence of a queen. You show me love that's sweet like 16. Or a fruit from a tree, or a cool summer breeze, yeah. Right. That's why me can't stand for lose you. But you're moving away and I can feel it. Now you're telling me you need some space. My mind just start figure race. That's why I don't wanna wait in vain. Love hurts, but I love the pain. Shots and Novocaine through my brain. I'm about to go insane. I don't wanna lose you, baby. If I did it would drive me crazy. Without you everything seems easy. Stay close to me where you're supposed to be. Don't give up on me now. Can't let the negativity come between us, girl. I know you got your fears, anxiety and despair. Talk to me, don't push me away. I need to hear all the words you've got to say. We can take it day by day. So baby, won't you just stay here? If you leave me, I will cry until me eye them run dry. Can't sit down cause you know why I'm a stand-up guy. Without you, every little thing won't be alright now. Through the darkness, you were my light. So right now, I'm just lost in the night. I might be okay, then again I may never, cause we belong together. You know that I don't wanna wait in vain. Love hurts, but I love the pain. Shots and Novocaine through my brain. I'm about to go insane. I don't wanna lose you, baby. If I did it would drive me crazy. Without you everything seems easy. Stay close to me where you're supposed to be. I don't wanna wait in vain.
It's on Paul Anthony.
Shots and Novocaine through my
track called Love Hurts.
Love the pain. Shots and Novocaine through my brain.
Welcome back to the broadcast. It's Real Talk on the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew.
If I did it would drive me crazy.
I want to say thank you to my segment sponsor, Reggae Global Entertainment. I almost said Reggae Global Radio. Reggae Global Entertainment. Reggae Global will act as your booking agents, handle your tour management, cover your copyrights, publishing, trademarks, business registration, music production, marketing and promotion, and so much more. Go ahead and give them a call, 954-804-8199. That's 954-804-8199. Or check them out online, reggaeglobalentertainment.com. Tell them DJ Kevin Stew sent you.
I might be okay, then again I may never, cause we belong together. You know that I don't wanna wait in vain. Love hurts, but I love the pain. Shots and Novocaine through my brain. I'm about to go insane.
Yeah, I'm about to go insane.
If I did it would drive me crazy. Without you everything seemed easy. Stay close to me where you're supposed to be.
That's kind of like borderline obsession though, isn't it?
Hurts, but I love the pain. Shots and Novocaine through my brain. I'm about to go insane.
So,
lose you, baby.
How do you stay together when you are different from each other? I guess that different from each other is what you negotiate when you have differences of opinion, because basically the belief is that opinion is who you are, and that is where you live in relationship world. You know, it's what defines you, and you go along with what defines you. Now, people may believe that does not change. Well, if you're constantly learning, then there is the possibility and probability that there will be some change. The question is, how do you navigate it? When it comes to being different individuals, which we all are, lifehack.org says the strongest relationships are the ones in which both partners can be themselves. Intending to change the other person or dramatically changing yourself to fit someone else's ideals pretty much dooms couples to failure. When two people have beliefs or habits that differ too much, it creates friction. As an example, if one partner is devoutly religious and the other is an all-out atheist, it might be difficult for the couple to find common ground on the way the universe functions. When a neat freak has to put up with the habits of a slob, you have arguments. Opposites may attract, but they don't always have staying power. Having two people from completely different worlds can be problematic. But even couples who have a lot in common need to make trade-offs sometimes. And it's not as though two partners need to be exactly alike, because any healthy relationship involves some compromise. And that is a little bit of a troubling word, though, isn't it? Compromise. If you check through the archives of the Night Shift with DJ Kevin, you'll find where I talk about compromise before. So it is important to recognize that unresolved small differences can cause huge problems. Remember, I talked about at the beginning of this broadcast, that little wedge when that wedge starts between the two individuals. Wedges only get bigger as they go deeper. So that little thing can be a big issue. Because our partners are not our clones, if you stay with someone long enough, you're going to have disagreements. You can compromise to work through some conflicts, but when the problem illuminates on a difference in core values, the dispute becomes personal. Couples may criticize or blame one another for not thinking or behaving in the same way. If two individuals' core values are completely misaligned, communication will be nearly impossible. Both may try to constantly prove themselves right, and conflicts will be common. Values and beliefs are one's preference. It's difficult to change one's core values because there's no right or wrong in terms of core values. Of course, not every core value needs to overlap, but there needs to be some, and it needs to be shared. And there are many articles that you can come across online that talks about this. One of them being why a shared life is not enough to maintain a relationship. Small disagreements can also highlight breakdowns in communication. In fact, I think they typically do. This is where, if you're paying attention, you'll realize where you have cracks in your relationship. Not breaks, cracks. So you have the opportunity to fix them. There are two individuals who attended marriage counseling. Excuse me. The wife hated having dishes in the sink. Her husband didn't mind them, and he often told her that he would do the dishes. She became frustrated, and when he wasn't operating on her timeline, and she'd do them anyway, she thought he was being spiteful, but he was really just lackadaisical about that particular chore. She viewed his nonchalant attitude about the dishes as a personal attack. If they hadn't gone to counseling, that small breach in communication would have continued to create tension. Something as simple as just that. I've seen that happen in my household. You know, my better portion tends to be like that when it comes to dishes in the sink. I tend to be that dude that is like, hey, listen, I'll do it. her daughters kind of have that mentality too, you know, I'll do it. We have a blended family. But her thing is, I just don't like it, and I've never liked it. So why can't we just, you know, you use something, just take care of it right then and there, or put it in the dishwasher, do something. Just don't leave it there in the sink. And that becomes that issue. And I'm not saying that it isn't a real thing. But why is it a thing? And if you had a situation like that, have you sat down and had a little talk about it? Not then and there while tension is high and your emotions are boiling. No, when things are better. Because then you get to have a better discussion, and then things are shared easier. And you're both in a position to come to an understanding. When a couple has a disagreement, it's important to have time to communicate about it. In some cases, compromise is not possible. In other cases, the argument was based on a flawed understanding of the situation. Either way, these problems will worsen the relationship if they are not addressed. It's important to address these things, these little things, because even a small drop of water can erode a whole rock. Think about that. Hey, cuz, how you doing? Now, people handle differences between each other in a myriad of ways. Yet they don't realize the way they try to tackle differences is worsening the relationship and their love life. Some people think that if you have to compromise, then the couple is a poor match. They may unconsciously demand that the other person fulfill requirements by asking them to do a certain thing, like initiating a dating idea every time. If the partner can never meet the lofty standards put in place by their significant other, they'll become exhausted, frustrated, and even sad. The significant other who has placed the demand will be constantly disappointed by their partner's inability to meet their expectations. Imagine what could happen if one member of the couple places a high value on fashion while the other can barely match their socks. They might have disagreements about going out. The fashion-forward partner may decide that their less stylish partner needs to improve their style because it's embarrassing to go out with someone who looks sloppy. Instead of compromising by choosing less formal outings or trying to help the less stylish partner, the fashionable partner mistakes this lack of style for a lack of care about their relationship. The less stylish partner, however, feels like it's impossible to look like a magazine photo. These two will have a hard time making their relationship work because where the emphasis is placed by the individuals. So, if the focus is on the relationship and how you negotiate and navigate the relationship and how you love each other, that fashion-forward partner can now say to the sloppy partner, hey, let's go do a little shopping and make that a team building effort, quote unquote team building. Make that a date. And so that now ends up being a less formal date leading up to. So in preparation for that formal date, now you're going out to prepare, and that is a part of the date. That is, it's like people that hear the word foreplay and think this is what happens right before sex. No. Foreplay starts the moment your last sexual experience ends. Because if you're in that relationship, then there will be another encounter. What are you doing leading up to that other encounter? If you start thinking about it like that, then something like a fashion-forward partner with a sloppy partner going on a shopping experience becomes a part of that bigger date. If you start looking at it that way, then it is not as taxing for that sloppy partner who doesn't like to shop. And it's not as stressful on that fashion-forward partner who wants to deck out the love of their life. It becomes fun for everybody involved. When people start a relationship, they may be willing to make some sacrifices because they genuinely like the other person, or they want to be liked. One person may attempt to minimize differences with their partner by giving up on their own interests. There is some compromise in this, but because one person gives up more than the other, the relationship is out of balance. And eventually, the person who gives up too much will be exhausted and unhappy. There was this person who was newly in love and made a lot of sacrifices to be with her boyfriend. She loved all types of music, and her boyfriend was a musician. The only problem was he was very opinionated about the bands that he liked. When she talked about a band that he didn't like, he would pick on her. Instead of standing up for herself, her response was simply to smile and nod, and never talk about how she felt about bands that she knew he would disapprove of. Choice in music may seem like a minor thing, but in a relationship that is centered around music, that was a huge sacrifice for that lady. The boyfriend didn't have to give up anything that he enjoyed in this exchange. Well, I guess you figured out where that ended up. Nowhere. The relationship died. Compromising on core values and beliefs is another recipe for frustration and exhaustion. You can give up on small things in the name of love, but if your core values are at stake, that's going to be a problem. You'll see this behavior when one person thinks that they need to change themselves in order to live up to another person's standards. In this case, one or both parties may have the mistaken belief that there should be no differences between them. Making a partner happy at the expense of one's own happiness only worsens the relationship. In the end, at least one partner is not able to do the things that they value the most. There's no such thing as a universal style of compromise because every couple is different. At the same time, successful compromises do share some common characteristics, but the individuals that play in these relationships, they are different. Bad habits and things that have become normalized in a relationship can be challenging to address. It's tough to know when to let it go and when to speak up. Discuss expectations, boundaries, and ways that you can support one another so that the compromise does not feel like a personal attack. It is possible to create a win-win situation from a disagreement. Work together so that you are both gaining something you want. Making a change doesn't seem as daunting if you don't feel like you are losing out. Remember, you are partners. Partners in crime, partners in marriage, partners in love, partners in happiness, partners in sadness, whatever it is, you're partners. So, whereas you may not stand totally on the same rock or the same tile, at least you share the same space. Work on what you have in common and build on the rest. Doesn't mean that you're giving up where you stand. When a couple is working well together, each partner may have to adjust something that they do so that fits in with their partner's lifestyle. Instead of having one partner sacrifice everything, each person gives a little to create harmony. If you ask your partner to make a change, be ready to make some changes for yourself. But making adjustments doesn't have to feel like a sacrifice. When partners ask for an appropriate amount of change, neither feels like the shift creates a major imposition. Both are still willing to make changes to strengthen their partnership. Having a respectful disagreement is healthy, but expecting someone to alter their beliefs to stay together, that is not. These things are difficult to change because they make people who they are. Partners can learn to respect and accept differences, but they cannot force change. It's nearly impossible to find two people who do everything in exactly the same way. Being somewhat different from your partner can make your relationship more fun and exciting. You might get the chance to look at things in a new way, or experience things that you wouldn't have tried on your own. Compromise is a natural part of putting two distinct human beings together. It can be a celebration of our uniqueness, as long as both partners are willing to make adjustments or give things up for the sake of a better relationship. Then the process of negotiation will only make you stronger. You don't have to give up on who you are to be in a relationship, but you can work with your partner to bring out the best in one another. It doesn't mean changing your core beliefs. It doesn't mean giving up on your dream. It does mean being honest and open about who you are. It does mean recognizing self and knowing who you are, where you stand, and where you want to be. That may not gel well with the person that you are currently with, and that's okay. And this is not lifehack.org saying something. This is DJ Kevin Stew. I may not be a DR,
You may not take my words as anything. You don't have to. I do encourage you to think on these things, though. Think on the fact that you are who you are based on the experiences that you've had and growing up in the environment that you did. So if that other person that you're interacting with does not have that same experience, then they're going to be a different person. And they're going to view things differently. And if you take that as something clashing versus something that you can use to build and learn from, then you're approaching this thing from without, I don't want to use negative words in it. Let's say you can approach your relationship from a better angle. Let's say that. If for any reason that relationship, whether your business partners, your bedroom partners, or your car riders together, whatever it is, once you have that relationship, you recognize where it is that you differ and understand that through learning about that person's position on where they stand, you get to learn a little bit more about that individual and connect a little bit more through communication. Even if you don't decide to continue that relationship, you can do so pleasantly. It doesn't have to be a let's bust the windows out the car and flatten the tires and throw out that prized possession from the childhood of that other person. It doesn't have to be that at all. It could very well be, let me help you find a new place. Let me help you move in. Let's meet for lunch sometime. Because for me, at the core of any relationship needs to be friendship. And if you're using relationship as a general term, yes, it could include at the core of any friendship, it's about friendship. Because people use the word friend loosely. So once you're getting past that moment of being acquaintances, that period of acquaintance time, and now you are actual friends, where you share things, deep-seated things about yourselves, this is where you recognize that, hey, I may not agree with that, but this is why I don't agree with that. Instead of just leaving it as, I don't agree and I don't care what you say. Now you get to share a little bit more about yourself, and they now in turn go, oh, but you're not understanding how it is that I view it. Here is how I see it, as a result of, or because of. And your reasons for the different views may actually be the same thing, strangely enough. But because you grew up on different sides of the track, they're viewed differently. At the end of the day, it's about having acceptance through enlightenment. It's about building that relationship. It's about that growth. That you two individuals in that particular relationship, regardless of whomever it is that is around, you two can manage to agree to disagree in the sake of your relationship.
I was looking for the sun when I looked up to the sky, but the rain came down on you and I. But I kept you warm and you kept me calm, and that's how we survived. I was looking for a sign when I looked into your eyes. Then I realized I really should be looking for your smile. You're so amazing, you're breathtaking. The relationship's still alive. The relationship's still alive, girl. The relationship is still alive, girl. The relationship's still alive, babe. Our relationship will never die, no. Our relationship will never die, oh. Ship is still alive, baby. I remember all the days that I took you on the beach and wrapped you in my arms. Girl, I looked into your eyes, I got too hypnotized, told you you're my only one. And I remember the nights under the moonlight, making love under the stars. And girl, you gave me your heart, and you showed me who you are. The relationship's still alive. The relationship's still alive, yeah. The relationship is still alive, babe. The relationship's still alive, babe. Our relationship will never die, no. Our relationship will never die. Oh, ship is still alive, baby. We've had some highs, we've had some lows. Baby girl, that's us.
Thank you much, cuz.
Tell me the when, show me the how. I'll be there to get the
This is where we bounce into our musical therapy.
And girl, I love you, and you love me.
The sound of David Powell.
Yes, my baby.
The track is called Relationship Still Alive. I want to say thanks to McNeil Trucking for sponsoring musical therapy.
I was looking for the sun when I looked up to the sky, but the rain came down on you and I. But I kept you warm and you kept me calm, and that's how we survived. I was looking for a sign when I looked into your eyes. Then I realized I really should be looking for your smile. You're so amazing, you're breathtaking. The relationship's still alive. The relationship's still alive, girl. The relationship is still alive, girl. The relationship's still alive, babe. Our relationship will never die, no. Our relationship will never die, oh. Ship is still alive, baby. I remember all the days that I took you on the beach and wrapped you in my arms. Girl, I looked into your eyes, I got too hypnotized, told you you're my only one. And I remember the nights under the moonlight, making love under the stars. And girl, you gave me your heart, and you showed me who you are. The relationship's still alive. The relationship's still alive, yeah. The relationship is still alive, babe. The relationship's still alive, babe. Our relationship will never die, no. Our relationship will never die. Oh, ship is still alive, baby. We've had some highs, we've had some lows. Baby girl, that's just how relationship goes. Tell me the when, show me the how. I'll be there to get the job done, cause I trust you, you trust me. And girl, I love you, and you love me. My princess, my baby. The relationship's still alive. The relationship's still alive, yeah. The relationship is still alive, yeah. The relationship's still alive, yeah. Our relationship will never die, no. Our relationship will never die, oh. Ship is still alive, baby. The relationship's still alive.
Baby, me choose you first. You are my Miss Universe. And no matter how the streets are chat, you always have me back. Baby, me wish you to have unlimited hours. I woulda send you unlimited flowers. Check it, move galore. Honorable, Tess and Chin, sing for them.
Yep, that's who they are. Tess and Chin working out with Honorable. Courtesy of Groove Galore. It's called Let Me Love You.
Put you to the corner in the very back of my mind, but somehow you're here in every single way.
Talk to me, rules and not divide. Why you not be sacrifice your pride? Rhapsody with me and you, every melody's timeless. You left me speechless and mindless. Sipping on emotions, every touch is like a happy pill. Relationship of a bill. Me I go love you right back, so no worry. Straight shooter with it, Steph Curry. Maybe take you in a rollers and flip flop. Maybe do anything to make we lip flop. And anything we wrong, now you like me fix status and not try lock your heart. Now you know me big lock.
About you, life ain't no good without you.
This is Honor Korik, his rendition of Everything I Own.
You sheltered me from harm, kept me warm, kept me warm. You gave my life to me, set me free. You set me free. The finest years I ever knew are all the years I spent with you. I would give everything I own, give up my life, my heart, my home. I would give everything I own. Just to have you back again. Just to talk to you once again. And if there's someone you know that won't let you go and is taking it all for granted, you might lose them one day. Someone takes them away and they don't hear a word you say. And I would give everything I own, give up my life, my heart, my home. I would give everything I own, just to have you back again, just to talk to you once again. Hey, hey, I want you back, baby. My house is not a home without you. Got me feeling so lonely.
Looking at the beautiful sunshine. Disappointing
Music just touches me.
Never liked the treatment the last time. I never understand what worry.
This is the Twiggerific one.
So bad I didn't give you
Twiggy. Track called Incapable.
so bad I didn't give you my touch. It never ever crossed my mind. But glad you showed me the sign. 'Cause you're incapable of love. I did not want to get into your way of your relationship. Boy, that's all you have to say. You're playing hide and seek when I'm around. Maybe you did not trust yourself. You avoided me when I'm in down. So glad I didn't give you my love. Already years gone by. So glad I didn't give you my good love. It never ever crossed my mind. So glad you showed me the sign of your I said your thought you were my best friend. Thought you were my best friend. Looking at the beautiful sunshine, disappointing thoughts of you cloud my mind. Never liked your treatment the last time. I never understand why were you so unkind. So glad I didn't give you my love. So glad I didn't give you my good night. It never ever crossed my mind. But glad you showed me the sign.
As it stops, you get me on my knees. When you lift me up, show me what the world really needs.
For all the Hezites, it's a little Hez run for you.
You never said you hadn't.
Track called Stronger in Love.
Take away my heavy load and shed it to your shoulders. Life ain't guaranteed much, but you gave it more than enough. You filled and overflowed the cup, baby. It's your love, your love, your love keeps me stronger and stronger in love. Your love keeps me stronger and stronger in love. Your love, it's your love. Your love, it's your love. Stronger and stronger in love. At times, my friend would ask, how do you find the will, the strength to keep on going? And I would smile to myself, if they only knew the things we both know. It's your love, your love, your love keeps me stronger and stronger in love. Your love, your love keeps me stronger and stronger in love.
This morning, the first thing that I saw, my eyes popped open. Overwhelming beauty's captivating.
This is the sound of Maurice Gregory.
I'm aching.
Track called What a Feeling.
Truth, I've never felt nothing like this. I'm just losing myself. This feeling is growing stronger. Hey, I know you waited for a long time. I'm waiting for you to be mine. embrace it. Cause time is of the essence, so don't waste it. You should waste it. No more. No more. Truth, I've never felt nothing like this. Might just lose myself. This feeling keeps growing strong. Never find nobody like you. Like you. Like you. What a feeling. What a feeling. Never find nobody like you. I know you're waiting for a long time. I'm waiting for you to be mine. What a feeling. What a feeling.
I love the way it feels. It's almost like a dream. If the winds put up and take me to where it all begins. I'm so caught up in another love song, praying that it never goes.
This is that dynamic duo. Wanna say J-Ball working out to the Raj and I. Track called Another Love Song.
To who really, really care. I'm caught up in the rapture of you, and I don't wanna let go. Your love is
And I truly like this song.
my constant comfort zone, and I come to you whenever I'm feeling all alone. You never let me down. You always lift my spirit. So grateful that you're with me. I'm thankful that you are there.
Hey, DJ Kevin, who love that song? Them like it, but
Yeah, man, it bad for real.
It feels, it's almost like a dream. If the winds put up and take me to where it all begins. I'm so caught up in another love song, praying that it never goes wrong, floating on a melody of what it really feels to be loved. Moments of emotion shared by two who really, really care. I'm caught up in the rapture of you, and I don't wanna let go. Your love is my resource, my constant comfort zone, and I come to you whenever I'm feeling all alone. You never let me down. You always lift my spirit. So grateful that you're with me. I'm thankful that you are there. So caught up in another love song, praying that it never goes wrong, floating on a melody of what it really feels to be loved. Moments of emotion shared by two who really, really care. I'm caught up in the rapture of you, and I don't wanna let go.
As we close out this night shift week, I want to thank you all for your love. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for your participation.
To someone else's charms. I love it when you're near me, love. That's when I
As we go about our day, remember, look out for members of your community. Your community is not just the development that you live in, but it spreads far and wide. Whether you walk, ride, or drive, take the bus, the plane, the boat, or the train, the people you pass along the way, these are members of your community. Do something good for one of them today, because you never know who's going to do something good for you tomorrow. My name is DJ Kevin Stewart, so I like to do it to you, for you, and with you every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, 10 p.m. Eastern on the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. Do remember to support kevinstew.com, the podcast, the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew, and the YouTube of the same name. I encourage you to tune in on Saturday for the Saturday Stew on ReggaeGlobalRadio.com. I'm on at 8 p.m. Thank you to the affiliates NIE Radio, the Foundation Radio Network, PEMGTV.com. Of course, right here, the home of Night Shift to DJ Kevin Stew, KevinStew.com. Thank you all for being the best part of this broadcast. Encouraging you to be good. If you can't be good at it. Good morning, good afternoon, good day to you wherever you are in the world from right here in South Florida. I bid you a good night.
To really care, I'm caught up in the rapture of you, and I don't wanna let go.
Greetings and salutations, one and all. You're invited to tune in to the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. It airs on Mondays with Community and Finance, Tuesdays with Healthy Love, and Wednesdays with Real Talk from 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern Time. Come spend some time interacting in the stew pot where we keep things bubbling and wind down in musical therapy. The Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew is on kevinstew.com, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment.